We're staying at a lovely little hotel there, and on the Grand Canal, and there was a karaoke machine in the bar, and you kind of know what's coming, don't you? But the karaoke machine in the bar, and there was a Norwegian chap and his wife that were kind of in charge of the book every night. You know, there's a karaoke book, and they were sort of the bosses of the whole thing. They were only on holiday like I was. But I was sitting next to them having a drink in the bar, and the guy said, "Oh look," he said, "My Funny Valentine." And his wife said, "Yes, but look, next to it, Nights in White Satin. I love that Nights in White Satin." So I leaned over and I said, "Okay." I said to this Norwegian guy, "If you do Nights in White Satin, I'll do My Funny Valentine." So I was like, "Okay," and he was looking at me, "Okay, you know, take me on, would you?" So I did My Funny Valentine, and I thought I did it rather well. But it doesn't have a big finish. It just, stay at that, each day is Valentine's Day. That's about the reception my version got. Each day is Valentine's Day. But I thought I did it rather well. And then he was like, "Right, okay." So he went into Nights in White Satin. He got to the "Because I love you," and he stood up and he gave it everything. He left it all in that bar, you know, on that song. And he went down an absolute storm. He was a total success. And I thought, well, you can't say anything, you know. There's no point in saying. He wouldn't have believed me anyway. So, those things happen. I was very pleased with him. I was very pleased with him. But it would have been awful if it had died.
Do you two ever do karaoke? There was karaoke last night here. Oh, you know it's on the show.
That's what made me think of it.
In Sandy Bay, on the west coast of Australia, I did a karaoke, but I did Nights in White Satin. Nobody knew who I was. That was the effect on the entire audience. That's the extent of my singing, public singing career. I keep it to bathrooms now.
You know, you talked about growing up in your hometown, Justin, and people going, you know, are you a musician yet, or have you made it yet, things of that nature. When did you guys realize that you made it? Was there a special moment, a defining moment? Was it, you know, the sale of a record, hearing it on the radio, seeing you on TV? Was there a particular moment for each of you?
It was, for me, it was all put in perspective. I think it was maybe Lost Chord or maybe Children's Children, but one of the record executives walked up to me and he thrust out his hand and he said, "Congratulations, welcome to the big time, Ray."
I think for me it was, we weren't a band that kind of thought like that. That's the thing, and we were kind of under the radar. You know, Nights, of course, was big, but we had to really wait until Question to have another kind of blockbuster like in the charts like that. But because our thing was making albums, and we had a wonderful company in Decca who gave us the freedom to do that, and we owe Sir Edward Lewis a lot, really, for his kindness and his the freedom of the studio that he gave us. But for me, it was it's dawned on me. It took a long time to dawn on me, and it must have been 1971 or something like that. We played Madison Square Garden, and we did 2 shows, and they gave us an award. It was called the Golden Ticket for selling more tickets than anybody else ever. Madison Square Garden. Now there's a good reason for that. It's not that we sold more tickets in one go, it's just that we did 2 shows in one day. And nobody had ever done that before, so we sold 40,000 tickets. And I think Ray and I went out into the outside and gave away a few tickets. Nobody recognised us. But I think we both at that moment thought, maybe we've made it. You know, we went out to look at the name Moody Blues over and to think, to ponder it all. It was quite wonderful. And so I joined. But mainly to ponder it and look at the sign. Sold out.
For me, one of the things was Decca Records was in London on the River Thames, a huge building, and the head of the record company, Sir Edward Lewis, we used to have our meetings there. We went into the building, there was 2 lifts, 2 elevators, one with a guard and one without. The one with the guard was for Sir Edward Lewis only. No one was ever allowed in that lift except him. And so when we used to have to go there, even after we'd made Days of Future Past and In Search of the Lost Chord, we had to go on the lift with everyone else. And then we went there for a meeting one day, and as we went to get in the normal lift, they ushered us into Sir Edward Lewis's lift with the guard. And I thought, yep, we made it, we're going to the top.
It's the subject here, it's a great subject, because Sir Edward Lewis, like I said, he was a lovely man, but he did have a habit of, you know, getting things a little bit wrong. But like Graeme was saying before, but in fact the whole board of directors did in Decca, but they were very sweet, very kind, even if they didn't know our names. But we had lunch one day up there, and Sir Edward on the 5th floor, and at Decca, and Sir Edward would always have the same thing. He'd have like beef Wellington and a cheese souffle or something like that. And this was when Decca was coming to an end, and I could see that they were going to close down the studio, Broadhurst Gardens, which was a disaster really. In the end they sold off, they had so much real estate, Decca, because they had a lot of consumer divisions, they sold televisions, the radar of course, which is probably even now as we speak guiding this boat. Please, let it work. But anyway, we went up to him, and I sat next to him deliberately to try and talk him into the possibility of having a commercial, of turning these beautiful studios into a commercial proposition. And I was about 10 or 12 minutes into my talk while he was in the middle of his cheese souffle. And I realised I'd run out of chat, you know, persuasion. And he looked up and he said, "Like to drive fast, do you, Justy?"
Like to drive fast.
Did you hear what I said?
No.
Like to drive fast, do you, Justy? It was at that moment I knew all was lost in the studio department.
Yeah, but you got the Steinway piano out.
I did get Now that's another interesting side. I'll bore you with one more story. Because we talked about Decca Radio. Well, John and Graeme had boats, and actually it was Tony Clark, I think, who was the most persuasive because he had a boat. And when the studios were closing down, they all had boats, and Decca gave them the Decca radio radar system, which was very valuable. But I didn't have a boat or anything like that. So I said to Hugh Mendel, executive producer, huge mother we used to call him, Hugh Mendel, and I said that, you know, I haven't got a boat. So anything. He said, well, what would you like? What would you like, dear boy? I said, that's Steinway over there. Okay. Just get the boys in to take it, and I've still got the Steinway grand. It's a beautiful piano. Thank you, Decca. I didn't want to take a radar anyway.
You know, you mentioned Ray for a second there, and I know that you have not been performing Legend of a Lion in concert, but I just love this question, and I apologize, I deleted the person's name who wrote it, but do you remember where you were when Timothy Leary died?
Wasn't that long ago.
we were in a studio in New York.
He's outside.
We were recording a song called "This Is the Moment" for the World Cup in 2000, around 1998, something like that. Whatever the year it was, but we were recording that song. Probably wasn't in the same year as the World Cup. And we got the news at the studio.
And we actually spoke to Tim Leary just before from the studio. And he did say to Ray, "You made me more famous than I am." So that's a nice tribute for Ray.
And then the producer said, after we got the news, it was very sad, but it wasn't unexpected, I don't think, at the time. But, and then the producer said, "Hey, why don't you guys do like Timothy Leary Lives?" I don't think so, terribly bad taste.
All right, well, that makes a good segue. Somebody else asked a question here. Is there any song that you would like to do a part 2 to, a sequel, if you will? And does it ever come up, and anything you've ever given thought to? Okay, I'll move right along. Okay. All right. How are we doing on time? I know we started 15 minutes late. Can I keep this going for a little bit longer? And they spoke. All right. All right. Christine Rogers from Chippenham in Wiltshire. She'd like to know.
It's called Chippenham. But you're allowed to say Chippenham. That's too much. You have to expect it.
Chippenham?
Chippenham.
Chippenham?
Never mind. I said Chippenham is fine for you.
Okay, well, she's from
Thames, Chippenham, whatever you want.
Thames, I don't know.
We should start off with tomatoes.
Go from there. Well, actually, I'm going to put this question to myself now. If you could be made the invisible man for a day, which is what I'd like to become right now, how would you spend that day? If you could be made invisible for one day, what would you do? How would you spend it?
Well, I wouldn't be on a roof with Wonder Woman in case Superman was around.
Anything for you on that one, John? You want to be invisible for a day?
Right this second in time.
I often am invisible. You know, you're invisible in restaurants, aren't you? You say, wait a minute. Oh, I'm invisible. I'm regularly invisible.
All right, Graeme. Here we go. This is this comes from the West Midlands. Christine Weber. Now, I don't expect you to remember this particular story, but you may be able to follow along what she's saying here. All right, she says here, "I have never forgotten a charming little incident at one of your concerts at the NEC in Birmingham many years ago. As the occupants of the 2 seats in front of us were about to take their seats, the gentleman took the handkerchief from his breast pocket, lay it on the seat for his lady to sit on. Does anything, since you have the best seat in the house, do you ever see anything at your concerts that still takes you by surprise?"
All the time. And in fact, last night as I'm walking on, a lot of you guys had decided you were going to wear white, and I thought I'd surprise you when I was all in white as well. Thank you. Feeling very proud of myself, and there's a woman down the front, right in front of where I end up sitting, and she was in the full regalia.